My best friend's wedding is in 3 weeks, and I think I've completely ruined it. Her fiancé hit on me, and I have the texts to prove it. I'm literally looking at them on my phone right now. And I just don't know if I should show her and break her heart, or stand at the altar as her maid of honor and watch her marry a complete liar. It feels like an impossible choice, and no matter what I do, I lose something. I either lose my best friend, or I lose myself. Let me start from the beginning, because you are not going to believe this. This whole thing is a nightmare I can't seem to wake up from. And honestly, I don't know what the right thing to do is anymore. My world has been flipped upside down, and the one person I would normally go to for advice is the one person I can't talk to. My best friend's name is Chloe, and when I say best friend, I don't mean that lightly. We've been attached at the hip since we were 5. We met in kindergarten because we both refused to nap and got sent to the quiet corner, where we were, of course, not quiet at all, and instantly became friends. She's not just a friend, she's my sister. We've been through everything together. The awkward middle school years with the braces and the terrible haircuts, all the high school drama, the first heartbreaks. We even went to the same college and were roommates for a couple of years. Her family is my family is hers. We have that friendship where we can finish each other's sentences, where I know her coffee order by heart, where one single look across a room can say an entire paragraph. So when she met Alex 2 years ago, I was ecstatic for her. She'd been through some really awful relationships before him, the kind that just chip away at you. And then Alex came along, and it was like the sun finally came out. He was everything you'd want for your best friend. He was charming, handsome in that classic, clean-cut way, had a great job in finance, and most importantly, he seemed to absolutely adore her. The way he looked at her, it was like she was the only person in the world. He actually listened when she talked, remembered the little things, and totally supported her career. On paper and in person, he was perfect. Almost too perfect. I remember the first time I met him. Chloe had been seeing him for about a month, and she was already head over heels. She invited me out for drinks with them, and she was practically buzzing with excitement and nerves. She really wanted my approval, and honestly, it was easy to give. He stood up when I walked to the table, shook my hand, looked me right in the eye, and said, "It's so great to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you." He immediately started asking about my life, my job. He was just so engaged and charismatic. I could totally see why Chloe had fallen for him so hard. Over the next year and a half, I watched them build this amazing life. They got a beautiful apartment downtown. They adopted a little golden retriever puppy. They'd host these dinner parties where he would cook and she would charm everyone. They were that couple, the one everyone looks at and just thinks, goals. He became part of our world. We'd have our weekly friend date nights, and sometimes Alex would join, and it was never weird. He just fit. I genuinely thought he was the one for her. I was so happy she had finally found her person. When he proposed, it wasn't a surprise, but it was still magical. He did it at the botanical gardens, with fairy lights everywhere and all of her favorite flowers. He even made sure I was there, hiding behind a bush, to take pictures. I was literally crying as I was snapping photos of him on one knee. It just felt so right. The next day, over brunch, Chloe held up her hand to admire the ring and asked me to be her maid of honor. I burst into tears all over again. Of course I would. Standing next to her on her big day. That was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life too. Planning the wedding became our full-time hobby. We were on Pinterest for hours, went to cake tastings, tried on dozens of dresses. It was so much fun, and Chloe was the happiest I had ever seen her. That happiness meant everything to me. Which is why what happened next hurts so much. The first weird thing happened about 6 months ago. It was so small, so minor, that I just brushed it off. The 3 of us were at a winery, checking it out for the wedding. Chloe was a few feet away talking to the event coordinator, and I was just taking in the view. Alex came and stood next to me, leaned in, and said quietly, "You know, that dress looks amazing on you. Chloe's lucky to have such a hot best friend." He said it with this little smirk, and then just walked away to join Chloe. My first reaction was just confusion. It was a weird comment, not overtly creepy, but not normal either. It felt a little too familiar. but I told myself I was overthinking it. He's just a flirty guy, that's his personality. He was probably just trying to be nice. How could I even bring that up to Chloe? Hey, your perfect fiancé gave me a slightly weird compliment. I'd sound jealous and crazy. So I just pushed it down and tried to forget it. But then, a few weeks later, something else happened. Chloe had a late night at work and asked me to swing by their apartment to let the dog out. Alex was supposed to be at a work dinner, so I figured I'd be in and out. When I got there, his car was in the driveway. He opened the door before I could even get my key out. He said his dinner got canceled. We made some awkward small talk while I put the leash on their dog Buster. As I was heading out, he stepped in front of me to help me with my coat. He put his hands on my shoulders, and as I put my coat on, his fingers brushed the back of my neck and just lingered there for a second too long. It sent this jolt of alarm through me. I pulled away, mumbled goodbye, and basically ran out of there. My heart was pounding. That was not an accident. The way he looked at me in that moment wasn't friendly. It was predatory. A knot of anxiety started forming in my stomach whenever I knew I had to see him. I started actively avoiding being alone with him. If Chloe invited me over, I'd ask if he was home. I started suggesting things for just the two of us to do, like we used to. I think she noticed I was being a little distant. She asked me once if everything was okay between me and Alex. I lied. I told her I was just stressed with work and missed our one-on-one time. The guilt was eating me alive. I was hiding this terrifying suspicion that her perfect fiancé wasn't who he seemed to be. The real red flags started coming through texts. It began innocently enough. He had my number from the wedding party group chat. He messaged me privately to ask my opinion on a birthday gift for Chloe. Normal. But then the texts kept coming. He replied to my Instagram story with a fire emoji. He texted me late at night. Hey, you up? I never ever responded to those. Then one day, Chloe posted a picture of us from a night out. A few minutes later, a text from Alex pops up. It said, "You look stunning in that picture. Even better than Chloe, but don't tell her I said that." My blood ran cold. The winky face, it felt so slimy, so deliberate. This wasn't me misinterpreting things. This was my best friend's fiancé actively crossing a line. I didn't reply. What could I even say? I just stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the block button. But I couldn't do it, because how would I explain that to Chloe? He would just twist it and make me look like I was the crazy one. I felt completely trapped. The breaking point, the moment that led me here, happened 2 weeks ago. It was Chloe's bachelorette party. We rented a house in the mountains for the weekend. It was supposed to be this fun, carefree celebration. But on the last night, Alex and a few of his friends, who were having his bachelor party in the same town, decided to crash our party for an hour. A cute surprise. Chloe was so excited. She ran into his arms. Everyone was cheering. I just stood back, my stomach twisting into knots. I tried to keep a smile plastered on my face for her. For a while, it was fine. The house was big, lots of people, and I stayed away from him. But as the night was winding down, Chloe pulled me aside. She was a little drunk, super happy. She gave me this huge hug and said, "Thank you for planning this. It's perfect. You're the best friend in the world." She said she was going to find Alex so they could get a cab back to their hotel. She disappeared into the crowd, and I was left in the kitchen, starting to clean up. And that's when it happened. I was at the sink, my back to the room, and I felt someone come up right behind me. I thought it was one of the other girls. But then I heard his voice, low and right next to my ear. "There you are. I've been trying to get you alone all night." It was Alex. I froze. I could smell the whiskey on his breath. I turned around slowly, keeping the sink between us. "What do you want, Alex? Where's Chloe?" He just beamed me that same slimy smirk. "She's fine. She's saying her goodbyes. I wanted to talk to you." He took a step closer, basically cornering me against the counter. My heart was hammering. "I can't do this anymore," he said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "I can't pretend I don't feel this way." I was speechless. I just stared at him, horrified. "Feel what way?" I finally managed to say. "This connection we have," he said, his eyes on me. "Don't tell me you don't feel it too. Chloe is a great girl. I love her. But you're different. You're smart, you're funny, you challenge me. We get each other on a different level." Nausea washed over me. He was actually doing this at his own fiancé's bachelorette party. "You are getting married in less than a month," I said, my voice shaking with rage. To my best friend. Are you insane? His face changed. The charm vanished, replaced by this desperate look. Please, he begged, his voice cracking. Don't say anything to her. It would destroy her. It was a moment of weakness, the stress of the wedding. It won't happen again, I swear. Just please, keep this between us. If you tell her, you'll ruin everything. You'll ruin her happiness. He was trying to manipulate me, to make me responsible for his disgusting behavior. Just then, we heard Chloe call his name from the other room. He shot me one last pleading look, straightened his shirt, and walked out of the kitchen like nothing happened. I just stood there, leaning against the counter, trying to breathe. My hands were shaking so badly. I felt dirty and betrayed. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. A text from Alex. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Please don't tell her. A minute later, another one. I was drunk. It meant nothing. And then a third. You will destroy her if you say anything. Don't ruin her wedding. I just stared at the messages, the undeniable, concrete proof, and I had it right in my hands. Okay, I have to pause for a second, because my heart is literally racing just reliving this. My hands are shaking. Looking at these texts again, I mean, what would you do? Seriously. Am I the bad guy for even considering telling her? Or am I the bad guy if I don't? Let me know what you think in the comments, because I could really use some advice right now. And if you think this story is as insane as I do, please hit that like button so I know I'm not alone in this. The rest of that weekend was a total blur. I was on autopilot. I smiled, I laughed, I cleaned up the party house. I hugged Chloe goodbye and told her I loved her. And the words felt like acid in my mouth. For the next 2 days, I didn't sleep. I just replayed that conversation over and over in my head. I stared at the texts from Alex until the words were burned into my retinas. He sent a few more pleading texts, which I ignored. My first instinct was just to protect Chloe. My gut told me to bury it, to stand up at that wedding, smile, and pretend her future husband hadn't cornered me. Because he was right about one thing. The truth would absolutely destroy her. This wedding was her dream. The dress is hanging in her closet. The invitations are out. Family has booked flights. Telling her would be like setting off a bomb in the middle of her life. And he would deny it. Of course he would. He'd say I was lying, that I was jealous, that I had a crush on him and was trying to sabotage everything. It would be my word against his. But then, lying awake at 3 a.m., I thought about the alternative. If I said nothing, I'd have to watch my best friend, my sister, commit her life to a man I know is a liar. A man who disrespects her so deeply, I'd have to stand next to them at the altar while he promised to be faithful. The thought made me physically sick. What kind of friend does that? Letting her walk into a marriage built on a lie. I realized that my silence wouldn't be protecting her. It would be a different, deeper kind of betrayal. My loyalty to her had to matter more than her temporary happiness. After 2 days of pure agony, I knew what I had to do. I couldn't live with the secret. I texted her and asked if I could come over, that we needed to talk. The drive to her apartment was the longest 20 minutes of my life. I rehearsed what I would say 100 times, but nothing prepared me for it. I sat on her couch and I told her everything. My voice was trembling. I started with the first comment at the winery, the incident at their apartment, the texts. Then I told her what happened in the kitchen. As I was talking, her expression went from concerned, to confused, to just cold, hard anger. When I finished, there was this long, awful silence. "Let me see your phone," she said, her voice completely flat. I handed it to her. I watched her scroll through Alex's messages. I was expecting shock or sadness or rage at him. Instead, she looked up at me, her eyes narrowed. "So you've been having secret conversations with my fiancé?" I was stunned. "What? No, Chloe, he was texting me." I barely even replied. "It looks to me like you're trying to cause problems," she said, standing up. "Alex already told me about this. He said you've been acting weird for months. He said he thought you had a crush on him, and he was worried you might try to pull something to get attention before the wedding." I couldn't believe it. He got to her first. He had already twisted the entire story, and she believed him. "Chloe, look at the words. He said he has feelings for me. He begged me not to tell you." I was pleading. "I think you're misinterpreting things," she said coldly. "You're probably just jealous that my life is moving forward. I can't believe you would try to do this to me right before my wedding." Jealous. The word hit me like a slap. "Jealous?" I whispered. Chloe, I love you. Why would I ever make this up? She just shook her head, tears in her eyes. I think you need to leave, she said. I don't want you at the wedding. In fact, I don't think I want you in my life. And so, here I am. It's been almost 2 weeks since that conversation. The wedding is in 3 weeks. I have been officially uninvited, not just from the wedding, but from her life. She blocked my number, blocked me on social media. I tried reaching out to her mom, who just told me Chloe is devastated by my betrayal and needs space. Alex, of course, is playing the role of the wounded, devoted fiancé perfectly, protecting her from her toxic best friend. To everyone else, I'm the one who tried to ruin everything. I'm the villain in their love story. I lost my best friend. 20 years of friendship gone in a single conversation. I did what I thought was right, and it cost me everything. I have the proof, the screenshots that could prove I'm not lying. But the one person who needs to see it has shut me out completely. She chose the convenient lie over the painful truth. And now I'm just alone with it. Alone, knowing she's going to walk down that aisle and marry a man who will probably do this again. And I can't stop it. I tried, and I didn't just fail to stop the wedding. I destroyed my most important friendship in the process. So that's the story. That's how I ended up here. What I've learned is that sometimes there's just no right answer. I thought telling the truth was what a real friend does, but it was seen as the ultimate betrayal. I learned that you should always trust your gut. I felt something was off with him for months, but I kept quiet because I didn't want to rock the boat. Maybe if I'd said something sooner, it wouldn't have blown up like this. The hardest part is knowing you can't make someone see something they don't want to see. Chloe's happiness was built around this idea of a perfect man and a perfect life, and my truth threatened to shatter that. It was easier for her to shatter our friendship. I don't know what will happen. Maybe one day she'll see the truth. Maybe she won't. All I know is that my heart is broken for my friend and for the friendship we lost. If you've ever been through anything like this, please share your story in the comments. I feel so alone in all of this, and it would really help to know I'm not the only one. And please, subscribe for updates, because as much as I wish this was the end of the story, I have a horrible feeling it isn't over yet.